You solved the problem. The code works. All test cases pass, but you still get rejected. Why? Because coding interviews aren't just about syntax and algorithms. They are about engineering signals, and most candidates are completely blind to them. Today, I am breaking down the 8 fatal mistakes that are silently killing your FANG interviews, and exactly how to flip the script so you can finally land that offer. Mistake number 1, not asking clarifying questions. Unlike a clean LeetCode problem where every constraint is given upfront, real interview questions are intentionally vague to test your scoping skills. If the interviewer says, find an element in this list, and you immediately start typing a for loop, you have already failed. The reason? You might be solving the wrong problem or miss key constraints entirely. The fix? Pause and ask clarifying questions first. Is the data sorted? What's the input range? Are there any duplicates? If you don't ask, you might write a linear search when a binary search was expected. Scoping the problem shows you are a seasoned engineer, not just a coder. Mistake number 2, the sprint to the keyboard. The moment you hear the problem, your first instinct is to dive straight into coding. Stop. This is one of the biggest beginner red flags in coding interviews. It screams lack of engineering discipline. The fix? Pause. Explain your approach first. If required, walk through multiple approaches and their trade-offs. Show the interviewer your thought process. Only start coding once the interviewer gives you green light. Something like, yeah, I like that approach. Mistake number 3, messy code that confuses interviewers. If your code is a tangle of single letter variables and zero proper spacing, you are making the interviewer work way too hard. Using names like A, B, P1, P2 and squashing your logic into a giant wall of text makes your code painful to follow. The fix? Write for humans, not just compilers. Use self-documenting names like user balance or max retry count and give your logic room to breathe with proper indentation and white space. When your code is clean, it explains itself. This saves you mental bandwidth during the interview and proves you are ready to contribute to a professional code base. Mistake number 4, the silent treatment. Here's the most awkward moment in any interview. You are thinking hard, but all the interviewer hears is complete silence, dead air. To an interviewer, silence isn't focus, it's a black box. If they can't hear you, they can't help you. The fix? Narrate your draft thoughts. Don't wait for the perfect solution. Share it even if it's half-baked. You can say things like, I'm thinking of using a hash map here, but I'm worried about the extra space it would take. Alternatively, I could try shorting first. That might hurt time complexity. But let me think. This transforms a high-pressure interview into a collaborative session. Remember, communication is half the interview. The candidates who talk through their thinking are the ones who get nudged back on track and ultimately get the offer. Mistake number 5, over-engineering. Using a bulldozer when a hammer would do. Over-engineering is a massive red flag. It tells the interviewer you will build unnecessarily complex systems in production that are a nightmare to maintain. So, don't use a segment tree when a simple prefix sum works. This signals poor judgment. The fix? Start with the simplest viable solution. Can this be solved with arrays, hash maps? Then optimize as needed. Mistake number 6, ignoring the big O. In the real world, inefficient code isn't just slow, it costs real money. So when you finish writing your solution and just sit there in silence, you have missed one of the biggest evaluation points, that is scalability. Not discussing time and space complexity makes it look like you are just memorizing LeetCode solutions instead of understanding how systems actually work at scale. The fix? Proactively discuss big O analysis. Don't wait for the interviewer to ask. Whether you are outlining your strategy, typing the logic, or reviewing the final code, walk them through the complexity. Doing this in at least one of these stages shows you are not just coding, you are architecting. The pro move? If you start with a suboptimal solution, don't hide it, call it out. I'm starting with this brute force O of n squared approach to get a baseline, but I can optimize it to O of n using a sliding window. This single habit shows you care about both getting things done and building performant systems. It's one of the clearest signals of strong engineering judgment. You can learn more about big O analysis in the videos linked in the description. Mistake number 7, dry running without a trace. One of the sneakiest traps that sinks even strong candidates. You think through the test cases in your head and then confidently say, I'm done. Big mistake. Thinking through code just in your head is dangerous. You only see what you expect to see, not what you actually wrote. Even worse, finishing your code and never testing it at all. To a FANG interviewer, this screams overconfidence and lack of attention to detail. And in the real world, that's exactly how production systems crash. The fix: always perform a manual trace. After you finish writing your code, pick a small, concrete test case and walk through it step by step, actually writing out the variable states for each step. This does two powerful things. It helps you catch sneaky edge case bugs before the interviewer does. And it shows you are careful and production minded. Exactly the kind of engineer they want to trust with real code. Mistake number 8: no questions for the interviewer. Finally, the interview is wrapping up, and the interviewer asks, "Do you have any questions for me?" If you say, "No, I'm good," you have just sent a silent but damaging signal. You look like you are not genuinely curious about the role or the company, like you are just there to get the job, not to join the team. That's a missed opportunity at the very end. The fix: always come prepared with at least 3 thoughtful questions. Ask 1 or 2 depending on the time left. You can ask about things like their engineering culture, the team's biggest scaling challenges, or how they define success in the first 6 months. When you ask smart questions, you stop sounding like a job seeker and start sounding like a future teammate. This small habit leaves a strong final impression and reinforces that you are thinking at the engineering level they want. Coding interviews aren't just about writing correct code. They are a performance, a chance to prove you are someone great to work with every single day. Avoid these 8 mistakes and you will already be ahead of most candidates walking into that interview room. If this video actually helped you, drop a like and subscribe so I can keep making more of these deep dive interview guides. And if you're serious about landing your next FANG level role, head over to DKodeTree.com. I've crafted a comprehensive roadmap you can access for free that takes you from the fundamental roots all the way to being FANG ready. Keep coding, keep improving, and I'll see you in the next one.